Hi, the first step in starting your import-export project is going to be to find a product that you're interested in importing or exporting. And closely connected with the product is the supplier. In fact, you can't separate the product really from the supplier. So you're going to have to identify a supplier of that product to be able to purchase the product for export. So how do you go about doing that? Well, there are a number of useful websites that you can look at to get some ideas about possible products. Now, there's several ways you can do it actually. I mean, you can go with the idea first and then try to find the information, or you can go in and look at some of the websites I'm going to show you to try to identify products that you might be interested in. So I'm going to do it that way first. So I would just go to Google in this case, although that's not always necessarily the best place to start for many school projects, but that seems to be our default. So in this case, though, it's very effective because I'm going to be searching for trade lead websites. And so I type in trade lead websites, and there are a number of different websites here that, or some of these are actually lists of other websites. Coming up on here, there are a number that are, I mean, you can go through any of these really. That export.gov is an interesting one, geared at exports from the United States, so looking at potential customers for U.S. products. The one Global Edge from Michigan State University is also a nice place to start. I'm going to look at that because it's a list of trade lead websites. And the first one that they have there is Alibaba. Now, Alibaba is a Chinese-owned website, kind of a variant of eBay, I guess, would be a way to think about it, but really at a business-to-business level. It's really become the main way to connect with Chinese manufacturers. So you can always look at Alibaba. You're going to find lots and lots of stuff there, but that means you're going to be exporting product from China to the U.S. or some other country. You can go there. I don't recommend that you necessarily go there first. There are other interesting ones, some that I haven't actually looked at before. Ireland eTender's Public Procurement is a Global Edge recommended site, so identifies business opportunities to buy products from Ireland or possibly sell products to Ireland. Oh, that's another key point here. Trade lead websites can lead you towards suppliers of products, and it can also, you can find people that are interested in buying certain products. So sometimes you can match those two together. If you can find an interested buyer and an interested supplier, you can put the two sides of it together right there. So all these other ones are listed. Some specialize in certain types of products, like All World Automotive would be automotive industry things, and Asia Manufacturer, you can guess what that is, Asia Trade Hub. So some are geographic specific, some are industry specific. B2 Brazil. So you can go through, any of these and click on them and see what you get. I'm going to just click on one. Let's click on this Daily Trader. This is one I haven't tried before. Let's see what it's called. Now you'll find that sometimes, this information must be out of date. So they're not always going to lead you in great directions. And then sometimes you might have one that is a subscription-only type of service. In that case, you don't necessarily, I don't encourage you to pay any money. Sometimes you can get a free trial, and that might be useful. Others, it's free registration. You might have to register, but that would be free. Some of them you have to pay for. So, I mean, it's up to you. But let's try this one, EC21. It says that there are free and premium membership options. You might have to register as a member here. Or you might be able to just go in. This is a fairly typical trade lead website. So you can see that there are lots of different products listed here and different categories. We browse by category, and there are new buying leads and new selling leads. So let's look at the selling leads here. And see what comes up that's interesting. Milk powder, infant milk powder, paper. Let's go to a category. Let's say well, that would be interesting. Food and beverage. Several groups tend to in every class tend to go for food and beverage. So let's try this, and we'll view all categories of food and beverage. And let's look at coffee. Actually, I was just talking to a group today that was interested in finding a coffee supplier. So we'll go for coffee beans. There are 478 ads here for coffee beans. And the very first one, Coffee Bean Direct, that looks like an online source for lots of varieties of coffee, which is interesting, but maybe not exactly what you might want. Going down here a little bit, here we go. Robusta coffee beans from Vietnam. And this one, the person is actually in the UK. It's a trading company in the UK that has these Vietnamese coffee beans for sale. Has the specifications here. They are green and roasted, so I guess you can get them either green or roasted. It lists a price of $1,200 per metric ton. Package weight comes in 25 kilogram bags. The price condition FOB, what that means is free on board, and that is a shipping designation. It means that shipping is not included in the price. They will get it to the port of embarkation, but then you have to arrange shipping from there and pay for the shipping. So actually this gives us enough information really to get started if we wanted to buy these beans from Vietnam. We might want to email the person or call the person, Mr. Cowell Moore, to get a few questions answered. For example, I would like to know from what port they would be shipping. That does not appear to be listed here. I don't know if they have them already in London or if you're getting them directly from Vietnam, unless I'm missing something. And it does say 25 kilogram bags and a price of $1,200 per metric ton. So I assume we can buy in quantities of 1 metric ton, but we would want to know, can we buy in smaller quantities than that, or do we need to buy in larger quantities? Also, there's a little bit of a discrepancy here I'm seeing, because up here in the table it says that it's in a new jute bag of 60 kilograms per bag, and yet down here it says that it's 25 kilograms per bag. So we might want to just get some clarification. So if I were to contact this supplier, I would go up and click the Contact Now, and okay, this is where we might have to register. It looks like we don't have to. We can register if we want, or we can just fill in that information. So I could just fill in my message, my item, coffee, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Um, and then I might ask my questions. So, dear Mr. Moore, I'm assuming, well, it might be safer to say dear, well, I'll say dear Mr. Moore. I'm wondering if they've transposed the name there, if it's Mr. Cowell or Mr. Moore, because it's Cowell Trading Ltd. But I'll say dear Mr. Moore, we are very interested in placing an order for your Robusta coffee. And here they've given me 3 specifications: R2S13, R1S16, R1S18. So I might want to see which I'm most interested in. And I don't know a lot about coffee, but I'm going to just pick the Robusta R1S16. R1S16. Okay, what is the minimum, actually, what is the maximum order? What is the minimum order from which port does the product ship, and what are the payment terms? Finally, well, that's good. That's fine. Oh, actually, if I look more closely, my questions are somewhat answered. Minimum order quantity, MOQ, is 19.2 tons per 20-foot container. So a 20-foot container is the minimum order quantity. So I can take that out. I know I have to buy at least one 20-foot container. Okay. And then, sincerely, Stevens Traders LLC. Okay, I might just make up my company name there to make it look more professional, and then I might send the message. So anyway, that is the basic idea, and there are infinite possibilities with sourcing different products and just poking around on trade lead websites. Try to find something that you're interested in doing, that you have some kind of a connection with, that you think there's a market for. And most of all, I mean, yes, getting the supplier and the pricing information is the key starting point. But be thinking about the bigger picture too, right from the beginning, because you're going to have to sell this product, and so try to anticipate the different elements that are necessary as you think about where you're going to sell it, how you're going to sell it, what your market's going to be for that product, what kinds of quantities you're looking at, all the different issues that go into thinking about how we get the product from point A to point B, but not just getting it there, but selling it effectively and making it a profitable venture.